Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Hope you are all well and safe. Over the last few years, I've made 31 videos using Paper53 and 50 videos using Tayasui Sketches. I've forgotten all about Paper53. I just got back into it lately. Someone said, I'd like to see a comparison. I thought that would be a good idea. So here it is. So I just posted a sketch in Paper53. I got a lot of response from it and people said they wanted to see more, which was absolutely brilliant. As I said, I've already done 50 videos in Tayasui Sketches and 31 videos in Paper53. So I feel like I can do a comparison. One or two people have asked me to compare the two apps. So I thought it would be a great idea. I'm starting with Paper53 and I'm going to look at the interface first of all. And here we go. So I've got, what's really great about this is it comes in sketchbooks, just like your real sketchbooks. And these are some that I've produced earlier. This was the very first sketch I did in Paper53. And you can see they are really, you can get some really nice organic sketches. And you can flick through it like a traditional sketchbook, which I think is just brilliant. And all of these images that we're seeing here, I've made a video of all of these, so you can go check out, look for the playlist, Paper53. There's two playlists, Series 1 and Series 2. And all of these are in there. I quite like, I'd forgot I'd done that. Where's it gone? I'd forgotten I'd done that using sort of a coloured pencil. So you can see they've got these really organic looking tools. So I've opened up Tayasui and the first thing it's saying is new pastel tool. So that's interesting. I'm going into my sketches and you can see I've got a series of books. So we've got a similar sort of thing. In fact, it looks exactly the same at this point. But once I click in it, oops, I just want to open the book. You can see we've presented with a series of thumbnails which we can scroll through. Again, all of these, there's a video on every one of these paintings that you can check out in the Tayasui playlist if you want. So for the way they actually present the finished sketches in the sketchbook, I much prefer the Paper53 flipbook. I just think that's just so organic and feels like a real sketchbook. Back in Paper53, we can edit the journal covers, as you can see here, by clicking that little tool icon. And I can go to cover image and I can choose a colour if I want, or I can go in and customize it. I could have a black cover, or I can customize it with a painting. So I could choose that if I wanted, although that would be a bit cheating because I didn't draw Killian or paint Killian in this in Paper53, so I can't really use that one. Let's go back and use this one. There we go. It doesn't fit, but you can sort of stretch things a little bit and move them around and make them fit. So that's quite cool. And then you can give it a new title, I guess. Do I tap it there? Where do I? Oh, maybe I have to close that down first. That's it. And then how do I do this? I know I can rename it. There we go. We're in May 20 then. May 20. Oh, I don't want that. Go back to the keyboard. I'll just put in May 20 for now. And there we go. So I can now go into that and start sketching. Tayasui has a similar feature where you can edit the cover of your sketchbook. So let's have a look at that. Obviously, if you click on the Sketches 2, you can change the name. And if you click on here, I guess I can choose a colour. I wonder what this one does. To be honest with you, I've never looked at these for a long time. I think that'll just... drawings. I didn't used to be able to do this, but you can choose a drawing. Are these not... That looks like one of my drawings. Oh, it goes in the background. Right, okay, I've got it now. I don't like that. Oh, I've got to change it. Sorry. So I'm going to change it to this, I think. There we go. So, not the best sketchbook, but cover, but there we go. Gives you an idea. And then you go in there. Oh, that's it. So that sketch was in that sketchbook. So I don't think there's anything to choose between the way the covers work. They both do very similar things, and you can get a really attractive looking cover for your sketchbook in both apps. Let's look at the drawing. Tools very quickly. We've got a pencil, which is really cool. You can draw these really organic looking lines. But what's really cool about this, if I just sort of draw a little building or something, you can shade in with the side of your pencil like that really quickly. The downside of all of these tools in Paper53, what I've found is you cannot you can't resize them. You got to work with the size that you are given, but I've never found that a problem. So with this, I would typically use maybe a watercolor brush, so I can go into the paintbrush and I can mix a grey if I want, because I can take the black and start painting in there, and then take white and start. If I go one way, if I go clockwise, it goes more to white, and if I go anti-clockwise, it goes back to grey. So I can mix a grey between the two, and if I touch it, I get a slider, and I can adjust the colours that way. But now I can start putting a wash on. And it's sort of, this works, the slower you go, the darker the colour, and the faster you go, the lighter the colour. And the pressure doesn't seem to make a massive amount of difference. And I can smudge away the edges with my finger, or blend away the edges with my finger. I can blend this in as well. So these are really nice features. And I can take the eraser, just so take that out, go back in with my pencil, maybe go back to black. And there you can see you've got a very natural looking little sketch. So then we've got a pen, which is, you've got this lovely natural looking pen. You press on hard, you get a thick line, light pressure, very thin lines. Free app, you know, you can't knock it really, can you? I've got a feeling that the Pro version is a subscription model. I'm not too sure on that, but I think it is. This is a blending stump, I think. Yeah, so same as using your finger. I never use a blending stump. I always use my finger to sort of smear things out. A marker. So I guess the marker, yeah, doesn't. It goes over. It appears to go under all the colours like the black, but does it smudge it? No, I don't think it does. So there we go. That's the marker pen. What's this one then? If that was a marker. Oh, this is like a lining pen. So you can do sort of technical stuff. Very nice. I've done the watercolor brush. Oh, this is I don't know what this is. It looks got a rule under it, so I don't know how that works. Oh, straight line. Take your hand off. You get arrowheads on it. That was weird. Does that mean you can move it? No. But okay, you've got a straight line tool. I'll never ever use that. That's why I didn't know what that was. Scissors. I'm assuming I can trace around an object. I can move it around. And then we've got the roller. Oh, and that's sort of a bit like the vector type drawing tool. Weird. I don't know. A roller wouldn't work like that in real life, so I wouldn't use that. And what is this? I guess I can import an image. Oh, it looks like we are. We've got a link to Unsplash. So I think that's like Pixabay, where you can use their images. Let's close that down. Do I resize that? Well, I could put some clouds behind it. Join Paper Pro to duplicate images. So that's a Paper Pro feature. Don't want to do that. I've got a sky behind it. So there's some features there that I would never use, because I'm only really interested in using this as a drawing app. So that's just showing you the tools really, really quick. Let's jump into Tayasui and compare. Oh, I'm missing something out. The colours, it looks like you've got a limited swatch, but in actual fact, you can slide across these, look, and you've got loads of swatches to choose from. You've got a monochromatic one, a different coloured one, and you can create your own swatches. If you join Paper Pro. So these, but do not fear, because you can go back and I can edit the colours in here. And create a brand new palette of colours. Sort of, there we go, muted tones. That would work quite well together. So you can make your own palettes if you want, but you're then restricted to how many are there, all for free. So that's great. That is roughly the tools in Paper53. Let's have a quick look at Tayasui, just so if you've not used both the apps, you can see exactly the difference. So here we are in the app. I can pinch the paper just to get the whole thing on the screen, which is nice. I generally like to see that. And we've got, first of all, we've got layers in Tayasui, which we haven't got in Paper53. We've got a pencil tool, which has got different settings, sort of really fine. Let's change that to a black. There you go, you get really fine lines, slightly thicker lines, thicker still, and it's got that lovely sort of texture to it. nice. These are just really, I suppose it's like using pencils from, if you go on that one, it's like using a 2H or something, and then you come down here and it's like using a 6B. You can do the shading thing, look, just exactly the same as you can in Paper 53. So, and then I think I've done this one. Oh, that's like it. Oh, I've changed. Sorry, I've changed the tool then. So I can undo. Yeah. Then the last one, I think this is a shading. Oh, yeah, this is the brush that I was using the other day for hatching. And again, I can change the size of it and the opacity. So with the pencil, you've got a lot more features in Tayasui. The pen, let's just undo those. I don't know if there's I've never used like clear the page or anything like that on this, because I always use these apps as like drawing on real paper. So I like that sort of sense that I'm doing it organically and I'm not using all the technology. So that's why I use Tayasui and Paper 53. But I just wanted to do a similar sort of thing. Hang on. With a pencil, I'll just sort of sketch a quick house. So we can compare them. You've got that shading going off. And I can adjust the size on this one as well. I don't know. You know what? I felt that the Paper 53 one felt a little bit more organic with this hatching. It might be the type of pencil I'm using. Let's try the square one. They seem a little bit dark. Let's go with the lighter one. Let's go with the lightest one. No, I think I prefer the shading of Paper 53 to this. So then we've got the ink tool. I'll start with the thinnest one, and I can ink in. I press on, I get that sort of fat line. Not quite as much difference. Maybe if I put the size up. No, the difference isn't as pronounced as with paper, but that might be the brush. The nice thin brush for doing thin lines. Let's try this one. That's very similar. This has surprised me actually, but, and then you've got this blocky thing. Wow, I ain't never going to use that. We've got this ink brush, so this, I think this will give us that. Yeah, that's the one. This gives us the sort of thing that we was getting in Paper 53. Yeah, that you've got these pressure on where you can get these nice thin lines and thick lines. So that's great for sort of doing painting in trees and things. What are these? Let me check the opacity and the size this time. Sort of a thicker, blockier line. And that's a nice one. So I think you seem to have a lot more variety in the Tayasui, but to be honest with you, manipulation of the brush in Paper 53, I can't see you not being able to do anything that you can do with these brushes. Let's try the I'm jumping. I should go through them in order, really, shouldn't I? Oh, this is the pastel brush, isn't it? I guess. Yeah, putting on some pastel marks. That's nice. I like that. I am definitely going to be... I'm not going to do any more with them because I want to do a video just on that. Then we've got like the regular painting brush. I really need to change the colour. But they don't merge like paint. You know, you'd expect paint to blend together. They don't do that. You would have to come down here and get the blending stump and merge them together. So I don't really think... I've never been impressed with the acrylic or paintbrush or whatever it is, the watercolor brush. Now this is a really interesting one because you can get... let's go back to a mid-grey. I'm just doing a tonal wash. You can get like sort of thin painted lines that you could do with a rigger. Or then we can start to get this wash. I think that I need to be a little bit darker, perhaps. See how that sort of flowed into it? Light pressure, lighter wash. Heavy pressure, more colour. But the one I like, we're coming up to it. This one. Is that it? Not so sure it is. I'm tempted to go to the black, you know. Let's just try the black. Yeah, I don't think you need to go with the grey. You can just go straight to the colour. Straight to your darkest colour. I was expecting this wash to smudge the black. I'm surprised it didn't do that, like make it run. This is the one I like because this puts sort of every now and again it'll blob something in there that you don't want. Is it going to do it? Is it that one? Might be this one. That's a nice one. The more you paint it, the lighter it gets. So I'm going to use this one. That's the one. And, you know, typical, it's not going to do what I want it to do right now. Let's just go around that tree a bit. On the eraser, got that down here. It works fine. So we've got a very similar set of tools to work with. I think I need to do a painting in each app to try them out. What do you think? Oh, and then we've got the cut tool, which works exactly the same as in Paper 53. And then the colours, to choose a colour, you tap on a colour and it brings up this colour slider, colour palette, and you can choose a colour to work with. And then you can then use this sliding scale to add black to it, or if I change that colour to white or a light grey, I can get a tint or a pastel, or as I say, like a darker wash. And if I hold on a colour, it brings up the full colour thing where I can be very precise with the colour that I want. And then I can add or modify the existing colour. So I can add that to my palette, and that's now in there, and I can use that as well. So they are very, very similar apps. And I have to say, having gone through them both, I would say that in conclusion, there's a lot more tools in Tayasui. You can rescale your paper. You can put textures on your paper. You've got all these different features inside the brushes, but the ones I tried in Paper53, I think the tools are so well produced. This is a personal opinion, very subjective of course. The tools are so well produced that you don't need all of those options to click on. You can just work with the one pencil and use the dexterity in your fingertips to get the effect you want. Having said that, Tayasui is a brilliant app. Paper53 is a brilliant app. I love the fact that you can actually make a sketchbook in Paper53 and flick through it. You can't do that in Tayasui as well. You've got the thumbnails, which isn't quite the same. And having just played with these two right now, even though with the Paper53 using the free version, it felt more organic. I'm sure you could probably do more in Tayasui. I know you've got a ruler option, which I didn't show, and you've got more features in there, and there's a texture option as well that I didn't show, where you can sort of draw with textures and things. Let's choose a different colour, which I didn't show either. Yeah, I think I prefer Paper53, but having said that, I'm now itching to mess around with this texture thing in Tayasui and the pastel brushes. So I don't know, if you just strip out all of the technology and just paint, just sketch, Paper53. If you want a few more features, Tayasui. Whew, that was a very difficult comparison. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, big thumbs up as always is much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because I have lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So don't forget everyone, stay safe, stay sane, and keep painting. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.